It's 10 years ago when it happened. I had a stroke, just a clot in my left side of my brain. For 6 months, I was not out of work. The hardest thing for me is aphasia, the problem with word finding and get the sounds out of my head into my lips, because I know what I want to say, but sometimes it won't work.
From early days to now, there are times when I may howl. Can't find words together, cheek by jowl. I can't stop thoughts. I'll never not think of the time when those cells did die.
Hi, and welcome everybody, and we hope you enjoy this podcast called On the Tip of My Tongue. Now, I'm Rob Edwards.
And I'm Jonathan Hirons.
And this podcast is a follow-up to a film which Jonathan made about aphasia. So, what is aphasia? Well, it's a condition caused by some kind of injury to the brain, which is often, could be a stroke, or could be just falling off a bike. And it affects your ability to use language in all its forms. Speaking, writing, reading, sending text, whatever. 350,000 people in the UK suffer from a debilitating condition called aphasia. Fewer than half this number suffer from Parkinson's, and yet most people have heard of Parkinson's, whilst almost nobody has heard of aphasia.
I played the percussion for the orchestra for Opera North in Leeds. The phase return gradually gets better. But what was the hardest thing for me, because my playing was off, my skills was off after 6 months, but also from day one, there was no enjoyment for hearing the music. I can play it fine, but there was no oomph. So after that, I decided to stop for Opera North, get better with the music preparation side, like laying out parts, scores, orchestrating, or whatever for different organisations. At least there was music in my head, even though I don't necessarily want to hear it, because music preparation is just keyboards, headphones, or not at all.
But never mind, I'll mind that marvelous machinery. The upshot is the brain is now the reign of changeability. The left side was the drain, but I attained life with humility. The downfall was a pain, the clock constrained and was unwillingly. The right side daisy chains and helps reclaim my lost lucidity.
Before my stroke, I used to do sort of parody songs to highlight some problems within sections or within the orchestra and the conductor in a funny way. So like when there was a problem with the percussion playing behind the woodwind, there's a song called I Do Like to Be Behind the Woodwind Now, not being I Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside. And then, of course, when my stroke happened, I did do 2 or 3 songs about aphasia, but I was thinking maybe I can do more of this because it will help other people to explain what's happened to me. I mean, it's not the same from person to person, but even so, the general gist is that the sound of aphasia is silence. Pieces of music for different orchestras, like Summer Nights from Greece. After I did it, I think, actually, those lyrics could work for talking about aphasia. So now it's drummer loving was a blast.
Was a drummer, it was a blast. Then a stroke, it was so fast. Now aphasic, it did take root. Language sickness, it's a brute. People say, aphasia, what's that? So below are some questions you asked. Well, absorb, build me more.
I always like lyrics, and so anyway, particularly composers like Sondheim, like that it's got quite a good lyrical bent for them. But I can't explain exactly what I want to say, but if I put it into lyrics, it becomes more fluent when people look at those lyrics. It's better if they can see the words and the music, because then they can know exactly what those words mean. And hopefully for the other people, the song that I've orchestrated for an orchestra, the lyrics is there, then I get out of the original lyrics, and then with my Kindle rhyming dictionary, sometimes the words will rhyme from the original words. I've got a really bit of software called Synthesizer V, and once you put the lyrics into it, it'll play back. There are different types of voices you can put into it. Then what's good about it is you can alter just the syllable, just left or right, or slightly alter. So it turns out then the notational software, which is Dorico, I can lay it out so that people can see like a piano vocal score, or if it was an orchestral piece. But I think what it's good, more than I think about it, it'll be, once it becomes more easier to put it in, it'll be easier for people with aphasia to put it into a Word document with some sound clips of them saying it. Maybe it's good that at least now, as a musician, I know what's wrong with me. Although I hate the word therapy, it helps my betterment. I think there's only the last 2 or 3 songs I've done just thinking about it, like The Sound of Silence. The sound of silence, that is aphasia, that's what it is.
Hello, colleagues and my friends. Another song you say again. But this phrase, it is on my brain. And those 4 words are so now ordained. So I planted in your skull some thoughts I feel and reveal. Aphasia's sound is silence.
I've got now 14, 15 songs about aphasia. I don't know whether it'll stop at some point. I do some songs about the brain and how it works, not specifically about aphasia. Ravel got primary progressive aphasia on the last 8 years of his life. So although we're not the same person, I think I know exactly what the problems with Ravel gets on the end of his life, because apart from mine, my stroke happened and then my gradually streets gets better. The other way around, Ravel, it hit and then it gradually gets worse and worse. I can't think of anything in the future that would work for aphasia. But anyway, it helps me, not lyrics, but also getting some poems or stanzas of words put together, because it helps my word finding problem. But also the problem with speech is not necessarily what they want to get the words out, but because the mouth and the tongue won't work. And sometimes it's really good for me, actually, particularly from the lyric side of it, because I think find a word to describe what that means. If you want something a bit more fluent, a bit more poetic.
From early days to now, there are times when I may howl. Can't find words together, cheek by jowl. I can't stop thoughts. I'll never not think of the time when those sails did down.
If my stroke didn't happen, I don't think I'll be doing this now. But it's good that your pre-stroke impacts on your stroke these days. If there's no music in my life, I don't know how I would cope. At least, I think we said before, because my brain was musical, there are different aspects of my brain that works when you're playing with an orchestra or in a section that helps other problems. My life for music is quite different. I'm getting more feedback, good feedback from that sort of doing it stuff, rather than actually playing, or rather get more satisfaction from the orchestration side of it, or the aphasical songs or whatever. Music helps other people with aphasia, with singing, choirs, and like that. I've heard about that. To see them finding a phrase of words they want to say and then sing that phrase.
Always I try to spell all those sorrows brings. Aphasia, it clings, remained unloved. Each sound I hear, I know I'm bound in a glove and feeling the sound I love.
Loving the podcast? Subscribe for more episodes and support the journey. Your donations help keep the show thriving. Please go to tipofmytonguefilm.com. Thank you for being part of our community. Thank you for listening to this On the Tip of My Tongue podcast. We hope you found it helpful and informative. Now, if you want more help and information about strokes and aphasia, please go to stroke.org.uk, say Aphasia, that's S-A-Y, aphasia, all one word, .org, or the aphasia page of nhs.uk. This has been a Buffalo Lounge production. Please follow Buffalo Lounge on all the socials.